where we talk all things farm equipment. Tune in to interview farmers, industry leaders, and talk about our own.
Too loud or not loud enough? Or
follow along as we talk about topics like cover crops, nutrient placement, and things that make your farm and every farm across the country different. You're listening to the Talkin' Shed podcast, and thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. This week, we are at the Indianapolis Farm Show. We did one here last year, too. So
that was like one of the very first podcasts that we did.
Yeah, it was like it showed kind of our experience level. Not that we're where we need to be now, but man, we were recording off an old handheld. Today we've got some legitimate Zoom deals, and yeah, so of course, Indy Farm Show. If anyone follows along, you can put things together. Of course, I got Cody here with me. I couldn't get rid of him, but we've got Jeff with us today. What's up, Jeff?
Hey guys, not much. How about you?
Oh, hey, it's what do you think of the show? You know, you came in from Illinois. We haven't done a podcast with you since Louisville.
That's right.
What the heck you been doing?
Just trying to keep ahead of it, you know?
Yeah.
Just every day something comes up or something, can't ship or can't get, or, just new little things.
Typical stuff.
That's right.
So, of course, everyone knows, with no introduction, Jeff is with Yetter Farm Equipment. Jeff has been, he's been our go-to for years, from day one. So, we don't do enough podcasts with Jeff, but we're going to dive in and we did one last year with him. We did one at Louisville, and we're going to talk everything today.
Awesome.
So
you bet.
I saw on scrolling through Twitter on my way over here, the Fed's raised the interest rates another 0.5%. So
I know it's going to get very interesting. I mean, the crop prices are starting to kind of filter a little bit down, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think
that's what Elon says.
Every time, that's right. But it's the price of production and equipment and fertilizer. I mean, there's just so many things that hit us all from growers from all sides right now.
Right.
So sorry for my voice. 2 days at a farm show. This is kind of the farm show voice. So
yeah, a little raspy.
Luckily, we didn't have a crowd yesterday, right?
No kidding. Today was pretty decent. I mean, the morning was real good. I think, and quality guys, and so
it's one of them shows that at the beginning you're like, man, why are we here?
I know.
And then at the end you go home, phones start ringing, you start to think back on who you talked to, and you're like, man, everyone I talked to was quality. They're legit. They're close to home. It's a hard farm show to overlook.
Oh yeah.
It's 2 hours for us. There's nothing else going on right now.
And you have customers coming here. I mean, you've sold guys that are here, and it's perfect. I think for retailers, I think, you got to stay in the saddle and keep going.
Yeah.
And I like the role, I guess, of the manufacturer. At least I'm here, to answer questions and come down to your booth and do different things and talk to growers. So, I guess I like the partnership. That you guys definitely are the retailers and the ones that can make the deal, and I like supporting. It's one of those. I think it works pretty good.
Yeah. So you made the trek over from Illinois. Why don't you describe to us a little bit for maybe new listeners what the heck you do at Yetter, and what brought you here?
So everything east of Illinois and all of Canada. I'm the area responsibility is of all those areas, so work with dealers and growers throughout that whole area.
So if there is a Yetter product east of Illinois in Canada or the United States, a row cleaner, a rotary hoe, a marker, a devastator, you're the guy.
That's right. If a guy has an issue with or something or questions on, I'm going to be the one that's going to help facilitate questions or whatever he needs.
Spearhead the deal.
That's right.
And so since COVID, you've been basically doing it all from home, right?
We're still 3 days a week at home.
Nice.
And 2 days in the office.
Okay.
And so
I guess I didn't know you'd transitioned to 2 days at the office.
Yep. We've gone back in 2 days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And, I do understand the camaraderie, that is missed
Sure.
in the office. There is some positives. You overhear someone talking, or you're talking about something and it jogs your memory. I mean, there is some good things to it. So I think there is a good hybrid, of being able to do the mix, either way.
Yep.
And hey, if a guy has the sniffles or whatever, I can still do my job, still do whatever needs to be, but don't go in, and it works out pretty good, I think.
Sure.
So,
How many years you been at Yetter?
32.
32.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he knows a thing or two about
I've seen a thing or two, and
Yeah.
it's
What is that? State Farm?
yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a thing or two. Ain't that what they're saying?
Well, it's not. Who is that? I know
Farmers.
farmers.
It's farmers.
Yeah,
That's
Farmers
right.
Insurance.
I like is I like to see you guys, the next generation coming through. It's freaking awesome, because you guys have the same will and in your blood to want to help growers and help them make a transition to what they're doing and go to the next thing.
Sure.
So you've got it, man. It's in your blood now. So
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah, we've been, I had a guy, I think it was Aaron at CFC. We were talking, and I said something about 10 years, and he goes, "You've been in business for 10 years?" I said, "I think it's actually 11.
Yeah,
I mean,
11 years.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
it's flown by. I remember doing some ag talk back at college.
Yep.
I'd be walking through campus, and someone would call me on row cleaners, and that was year one. And
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
yeah, we sold
time
a
flies.
lot of Magnums through Ag Talk in about a 3-month span there one time.
And still repeat customers. I mean,
Oh,
you're still
yeah.
getting these guys calling from these different areas, and
Yep.
that's,
yeah.
you've grown your business quite a bit. And Cody there, who is, I think he does a good job of the, ag talk and handling questions and facilitating that. There's multi ways of making sales.
Oh yeah.
as we've seen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's even diving into TikTok. You see that?
Yeah.
Don't bring that
But-
up with him.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
not
well,
a fan.
It's
Yeah.
not banned in Ohio yet, but as soon as it is, we'll jump off.
It's getting close, but
What are they going to learn from him, though? You're thinking the Chinese spying through TikTok. I get it, but what are they going to find?
What are they going to find with Cody? They're going to have to ask him a lot of questions.
Yeah, they'll know how to put closing wheels on their planter, maybe.
That's right. Right hand this way, left hand this way.
And not looking at the planter. You got to be standing behind the planter.
Right. Who started that anyway? Where did that
What?
start? Behind, we always go in the ag sector, everything's behind.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah, and I like that.
Right.
I
It's
think I do.
universal. It is universal.
Because it's always everyone will turn around and look at the planter from the tractor, and it's like, well, kind of.
Standing behind.
Yeah, standing behind. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's weird because everybody does seem to know that drill, if you will, that left hand side or right hand, and everybody knows behind the planter or behind the implement. That's
Yeah.
what you always talk. So
Yeah.
It's so repetitive too, and you just keep saying it. It's like, well, you need to make sure that you're standing behind the planter, and it happens
And
all
I think
the time.
a lot of times when you're working on stuff, or like a planter anyways, you're behind the planter,
right.
So you're telling the tech, hey, it's on the left side, and you're standing behind it. Well, I mean the right. Well, and telling them that you're behind it. I don't know.
Exactly.
But
Yeah. Fertilizer placement, just like at the show. I mean, that just seems like that's just, everybody. And you guys were smart to bring nutrient placement tools on your booth. You have the different ones, and strip till, of course, is definitely still.
oh yeah.
I mean, it's just starting to warm up.
Oh yeah, yeah, and what a great fall we had for doing strip tillage this fall. Banning nutrients. Heck, we did a tillage demo just a week ago, and I think that's going to create more ideas for people who aren't in strip till. Hey, we can do this. Look at the fall that we had. Everyone's had their tillage done, fertilizer spread. I think it'll really happen when, a lot of guys have I'm not saying they sat around and did nothing for the last 2 months, but field work wise, they may not have done much, but the weather was to where they could have. Well, what happens this spring? They haven't laid down any fertilizer yet, and then all of a sudden this spring they get in this bottleneck. Now they're waiting, or prices go up, and they're like, man, why didn't we just do it back in the fall when we had all that time?
Right.
And that'll really get their wheels turning. Now, not every fall is like this fall of 22, but man, it's nice when they are.
Oh, I mean, you could have done anything from start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was good.
I was talking to old Mitch the other day. He got himself a new planter.
Yep.
They got a John Deere 1770.
Oh, really?
Yep. So you have to give him a call and hit him up on some stuff. But anyway, we were just chit-chatting. He said his uncle got out his field cultivator the other day and made a pass over some chiseled ground. Said they had chiseled back in like November. It had kind of dried out, and
right.
He whipped out the cultivator and made a pass. So this spring, I don't know if they're either going to stale seed bed that or one pass with cultivator again, but stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You don't see that done very often.
And you guys haven't had hardly any rain in Ohio. I mean, what was the first one? Was Labor Day?
Well, Labor Day, and we did finally have over an inch
here about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I think that's the first one though since
since Labor Day, about 2 weeks ago was the first good measurable rain that we had.
I know your dad, he snapped me pictures of the lake.
Yeah.
And how, holy cow, that thing is just, it's unreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the creeks are dry, and but it's teeing up to be pretty good here. There's been a lot of fog in the air. We got about an inch of rain not too long ago. We got rain overnight, and then boom, it's going to freeze over the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's going to expand that ground out, help with compaction. Grandpa always says that that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have the ground freeze before the snow comes.
Right.
Because when the snow comes, it won't freeze.
Insulates it where then it's muddy. You go out there and you're still sinking in.
Yep. You know how in the spring you walk across the field and your feet kind of squish? That's from Mother Nature for you.
Oh, yeah.
And Grandpa always talked about how important that is.
That's right. Well, and you help break up some of that compaction, that freezing and thawing.
Yep.
That's kind of helping us in some of those aspects. So,
yep.
But yeah, it'll be good. And I think snow, they were talking about, maybe get close to Christmas. It could be some pretty decent snow right through the whole Midwest area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be cold enough anyways.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
It hasn't even been cold enough in Ohio last, month to do it. So I don't know. But what do you think of the show? It used to be down at the fairgrounds. This is the second year up here today. I mean, I wasn't here early this morning, so I can't really attest to the early morning crowd.
This morning was just like shot out of a gun. There was people there.
Yeah.
The piles were full.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah, it was legitimate this morning. I mean, there were some, and that's the thing. We talked about it before we got on here. I mean, the guys that you talk to at this show are the guys that are very, very good, high quality, qualified guys that that whenever they come up to you and they talk to you for about 5-10 minutes,
right?
Those are the guys that are pretty serious and you need to pursue.
Well, they're forward thinking. They're getting their ducks in a row, and they know, and the whole where's my money? Where am I sitting? How much money do I need to spend? And they're just getting organized,
right?
And that's good to hear now because we know Louisville time. There's just not going to be much around,
right?
Dealer inventory, which you guys have. Inventory, which is phenomenal because hey, you got it in stock.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing better in these times that we're going through because at the factory our lead times are getting worse and worse. So I can't stress enough for guys to hook up with dealers who have it in stock because those are the guys who have the knowledge and they know what they sell and they know their territory and their products. That's gonna be the best place to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Everyone, we've heard all the excuses in the last couple of years about inventory and wait times from all these manufacturers. Everyone's heard the story. It's like a contest when guys get around. Well, I had to wait on a tire for 7 weeks. 7? I waited a year and a half for a trailer. Try that.
That's right.
You know?
Oh, you always hear them.
And what, I had a farmer ask me the other day, he said, what's the deal? And I think that it's a deep, and there's a lot of things going on. Like, for example, everything was just-in-time manufacturing, pretty much.
Correct.
Build 300, sell 250. Build 300, and then all of a sudden COVID came and things tightened up. But then people had money, so things were spending. But then I think the forward thinkers and the purchasers of the world saw the wave coming, and they just bought and bought and bought.
If you could buy.
Yeah.
See, there's where,
they still
the problem
bought.
is with our purchasing is you've got to find the companies that can do it. These casting companies, I mean, they're booked up.
Right.
Because it's like everybody's searching for that same thing.
Right.
And so it's still a very difficult scenario to get some products coming in just because of, the vendors who supply us. They can't do it either.
Yeah. Right. And just like I was talking to a guy earlier today, he said he went to J&M to buy a tire, and I told him, I said, well, that's why there's a tire shortage in the world, because they're all sitting over at J&M. I mean, hundreds of them,
Really?
But it's like, imagine a tire company who used to sell them 50 every 2 months,
right,
and now all of a sudden they got an order for 290.
Right.
And then all of a sudden now Underfirth gets word they're going to order 350. And now they went from selling two companies 100 tires every 3 months to 700 tires in 1 month.
Right.
And boom, and look what that does to lead times. Everyone else gets word. And then now this other company gets word. Boom, give me 300.
Right.
This one, boom, and it comes in, and it just pushes. And, that... I think it's just people maybe people forward thinking like that, you think? Or
I think companies are trying to forward think and say, hey, this is something we're going to always move, so let's get a warehouse full of it. You know what I mean?
But do you think that's a cause of some of these delays?
Sure. Because just what you said, typically vendors aren't dealing with those size of orders, and boom, 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 they have 3 huge orders. They're in a hole.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They can't dig out.
Right.
And that's where it starts, right there.
Yeah.
Then they go to their suppliers and try to get, and so it's funny how that trickle down works. It'd be fun to watch and see, a product, the progression of how it's got to come through and how many hands and how many people, you know what I mean? It would surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of growers think, oh, what the heck, just call up and you get it and away you go. Well, there is a lot more involved, than just being able to do that.
Right.
So,
I mean, you figure, a lot of companies try to make as much stuff as they can in-house.
Right.
That's the key to being a good manufacturer, is trying to make as much stuff in-house as what you can. But whenever you're relying on somebody else and you're saying, well, I need a ball bearing. Well, these ball bearings aren't out. They're out for 6 months.
Right.
And so there's just only so much that you can really control that really will dictate on what you're able to put out as far as a number.
Right.
And, like we were saying, that's just kind of how it's going to crumble is, well, whenever I order this bearing, well, Tom over there at so-and-so's, well, and they ordered 300. Well, heck, we need to order 5.
Right. It's almost like panic buying. We saw it with toilet paper. All right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of the same scenario.
Yeah.
When companies are like using the same bearing, same wheel, same whatever, it's all out to secure what you need. So then everybody's scrambling to do the same.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in that same, almost panic purchasing, and we're expecting our vendors to be able to jump through hoops, and they just can't always do that.
What all kind of stuff is Yetter doing to try and get around all this?
I mean, we look for new vendors all the time. I mean, we're always searching for someone that's looking, for new business, which is hard to find. But we're being more proactive. We're ordering more and trying to get more in all the time. So, the just-in-time thing has kind of got put to the wayside because we know it's like a dealer. You can't sell it unless you have it.
Right.
And that's in these times, we're seeing that more and more all the time.
Yep.
So, but it's just a struggle in some cases, and there's products we're short on. 2968. I had a ton of interest in 2968.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the I'm really surprised at some of the guys that come in that have tried some of the competitors, and they're not happy.
Right.
They're not happy with those products, and so there's still those guys searching for that perfect scenario of fertilizer placement. And we've talked this tons of times. Fertilizer is finicky on the planter. Period. You've got to have patience, and you've got to just know that things are going to change from year to year. What worked this year may not work next year, just depending on what Mother Nature throws at us.
Right.
So that's the biggest hurdle that you get into. I love strip till. I try to get guys to get nutrients off the planter. I just think it's, and everybody's like, yeah, we're our labor and this, that, but how much time does it take for a guy, to do a high-speed scenario and place nutrient, stay ahead of the planter, and away you go?
Right.
Right.
It's not real tough.
Right. Yeah.
So-
It depends, and they always want to make these bars really big and elaborate. Sometimes if you can kind of size them down, I think you can even get more acres done in a day, really, rather than trying to do a huge bar where it takes a PhD to run it, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but just part of the landscape that we're in, of just navigating and doing the different thing. The customer had that horse planter and was really wanting to put fertilizer on, and he was down to a little bit of nothing. Here's your option, and got to figure out how to mount it.
You get him figured out?
Well, I think we're going to try Nutrient Pros. Because of his cover crop that he's going to be planting into, and we know the Nutrient Pros will walk through heavy covers.
Yeah.
It's proven.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be basically his best shot at it. So, yeah. I think it'll be an interesting build, but he's going to have to one row at a time and making sure everything fits, and which is not ideal, but it's specifically for his planter and his situation. So prescription fit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, he was. And we've had many guys come up to us like that over the years. But yeah, putting the fertilizer there on the planter is there's a big push for it, no doubt.
Yeah, it still is there. Yeah, for sure.
What else do you think guys need to be looking at this year on their planter? No frills, no gadgets. We just did a video on when to replace their Yetter Poly twister closing wheels.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
I get that question as well. As we talked, that it definitely everybody wants to know when to replace it, and it's tough for each situation. But
right.
As we lose that chunky lug,
right,
as it gets smaller, that's where we lose the tamping of that wheel.
Right.
And so we definitely don't want it down to a point, but it gets down there. It's guys don't realize how much it's wore until they put a new one on.
Right.
And I don't think we've seen the replacement market yet. Have you? Do you see guys that are saying, hey, I've had these for 3 years, it's time to put new on? I just haven't seen it.
No.
And that's the misnomer. The guys think poly, they immediately think wear fast.
Yeah.
With a cast twister, they're all thinking, oh, you got the cast twister because it wears better.
Yeah.
That's not the point of the cast twister.
Not at all.
The cast twister, we're adding it for weight.
Yeah.
We don't have to put our notches in there, very many notches. We're not going to compromise seed depth or anything. 16 pounds each, 32 pounds, that baby's going to close the slot.
Right.
That's why we're doing the cast twister. Has nothing to do with wear.
Right.
So, but those cast twisters are definitely gaining in sales.
Yeah.
I mean, guys do like what they get out of them.
Yeah, I'm seeing them more and more too.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the guys that are going at these high speeds with all these newer high speed planers, I think it's just pretty necessary, and
Right.
you don't see that tailpiece sit there and chatter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at 9 mile an hour, those things will chatter right along. And,
Oh yeah,
You know, so cover crops and no-till, definitely cast twisters. I mean, that's a, given, I guess you might say. So, but no, that video you did on the planters, that was perfect. That, take an old 7,000, 7,200. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. There is the items that make or break you in money.
Yep.
I mean, clean seed bed.
Yeah.
I mean, you had his fertilizer up front, nutrient placement, and seed to soil contact at the back.
Yep.
And I've always said that if guys pay attention to that detail, those things,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're going to be in the best end of gaining a good yield.
I'd put that planter up against any of them as far as ROI.
Exactly.
Now, here's the thing that's hard for guys to look at. You can put a planter next to it that's going to out yield it. Okay? But then put a pencil to it. And does it out yield enough to pay for all the wires and harnesses on the planter?
Exactly. That's where it gets down to, we talk to guys with older planters all the time, and it's like new seed disc and add these little trinkets to it. Hey, you're going to be doing a very good job.
Right.
yeah, off you go
That's right. So, but
for sure.
You been deer hunting yet?
I knew you were going to ask that, man. No, you know the deal. It would just.
No, you been out?
I went out a couple times. That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw some bucks.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough to keep me going back.
Oh. Well,
Maybe that ground blind we're building will make them want to go again.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Taj Mahal coming here.
Yeah.
I mean, heat and no wind. I mean,
Insulated.
Can you cook breakfast in there? I mean, can we cook breakfast in
I'm sure we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we'll need a little generator.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I haven't. I have not done what, I used to do a lot of deer hunting, but I think just, life gets in the way, and, maybe when retirement does come, hey, I'll spend some time in the timber. So,
This weekend is Ohio's second gun season.
no.
Their first gun season was the Monday after Thanksgiving. Then you skip a weekend, and then now this weekend. So, but we've got a lot of Christmas parties and stuff going on, so I probably won't get out much. But Cody's still searching to fill that tag.
I see that. He's hasn't
gotta-
snapped anything to me. I was like, come on.
He
Blood trail? Any blood trail?
He asked
I mean,
me
nothing.
what we were having for lunch. I said, I don't know. I figured maybe you would eat tag soup today, or you're going to wait till the end of the season. And he's got enough of them in there for both of us, really.
Tag soup. Do you put salt and pepper with that? Do you add any seasoning to it?
Yeah, you have to. A little garlic powder, some paprika.
I think he's got 3 of them in his pocket to burn.
Yeah.
Cow.
And one's a buck tag.
You better
so.
get busy.
Yeah, that's the goal. Hopefully.
He's been in the right spots, but
Yeah. Hey, it's better to be lucky than good.
I guess.
That's what they say.
Yeah, I got lucky for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice deer. That was decent. I mean,
Yeah.
there was nothing wrong with it. So.
Oh yeah, for how it played out, it could have been a 4-pointer. I probably would have shot it. I just to do a mid-morning move and have it work.
Right.
It just made it happen. So
And delivering some parts. You can't beat that. It's just
yep,
everything worked together.
yep,
So.
yep.
Well, that's the only way we're allowed to get out of the office. Otherwise, it's
We have to load the truck up with a bunch of stuff, make it look like we're selling and delivering, and then we go deer hunting. We end up dumping the parts in the ditch, even though we didn't deliver them. Yeah, we got it. Yep. We delivered them.
Just as long as the check shows up, it don't matter.
Blood out of the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get it all cleaned up.
Yep, I got that cleaned up.
Good.
So where are we eating tonight?
I don't know. I thought, maybe, what is it, Matt Miller's?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
Matt
where
the
we're
Miller's
heading.
Tavern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over there at Carmel, I think, is
Yep.
where it's at. It's like 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
Yep.
We ate there last year, and it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're over here kind of in Beck's land. I drove through Becknology days to get here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you drive right by the facility.
You go right through that little road right between them.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the little roundabout right there. It's
pretty nice empire.
Oh yeah.
Very nice facility.
And Reynolds Farm Equipment.
Yep.
So they had an X9 combine in there, which kind of surprised me. I didn't think you could even get one of them. Which it's probably some farmers or something, but they've got some inventory. Jiminy Pete's, they've got some tractors sitting in there.
Yeah.
Front to back, there's just painted green.
Of course, on that 31, it's high visibility.
Yeah.
You know
they've got
I mean?
a great spot.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this facility with the bigger doors, I mean, they were still able to get that combine in and, sprayers, and you guys had that fast toolbar. I mean, that's pretty good size. So, I like this facility. I just wish we could get more people there.
Yeah.
That's, I hate to say, sometimes the growers are telling us, hey, we don't care about farm shows anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not high on our priority list. And I can see, everybody's busy.
It's in their pocket.
And
it's too easily accessible through their pocket.
They can click on, they can listen to podcasts. Come on.
Yeah. I thought it was funny this morning. Kevin called me. I wasn't here yet. He said, hey, do you have a flyer on this A26 fast applicator that's sitting in our lot? I said, a flyer? Why do you need a flyer? Well, there's a guy here and he wants a flyer on it. I said, tell him to touch it. It's literally right there. Picture, video. It's there. What's a flyer going to tell him? So I don't know that kind of stuff is necessary, when we've got the YouTube videos and stuff. Well, we've talked about that a million times, but I thought,
our marketing has to be 3 or 4 pronged for age groups.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. You've got to be able to do some old school marketing and advertising, and then plus the YouTubes and all that. And that pretty well encompasses everybody.
Right. Yeah. If they ain't going to find you through one of them, then they won't find you at all.
That's right. That's what it comes down to. So
this week we're signing on with Fastline. Oh. We've never been on Fastline on their online deal.
Yep.
So like most of our big equipment leads come from Tractor House, and Fastline is a very similar company. And we're going to sign on with them. It's really not that expensive to have all of our items listed on there. It's just another search engine. I think she said, I forget how many people she said search on their website from Ohio every week. It's pretty crazy.
And just keeping your name and your products that you offer right in front of the guys, that's the name of the game, because you're helping them jog their memory.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, I'm no different. I'm the same way as a consumer. If I see something that's like, oh, dang, that reminds me, I was going to do this. So it's the same way when you guys have finning equipment and you Yetter, Salford, and all the things. You just keeping that in front of them, and it helps them jog their memory sometimes.
Yeah, they do. So. They do a mailing catalog in Ohio, each edition, and every edition I think is 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks they mail out 15,000 catalogs in Ohio.
Ooh.
Now we didn't do that one because it's a good little bit more money, but still, that 15,000 catalogs to subscribers. That's
and really, that's a big number. But at the end of the day, tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like that's not encompassing us. There's a lot more growers out there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
For
sure.
Yeah. Yep. So I think all in all, it's always positive. It's always positive to listen to the grower, and he's more apt to talk. So I think it's good to still rub shoulders with these guys. We just got to figure out how to get more guys coming.
Yeah, definitely. There's always a need for something, and it's always a little bit different depending on, there's nothing better than being able to see a guy's reaction whenever you tell him what you got and if it's available and this and that, and
right.
Seeing them face to face, there are a lot of guys that we meet at farm shows that we've talked to over the phone, but we've never met them face to face, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's good to put a face to the name," you know.
Right.
Just some things like that. That's my favorite part about the farm shows. Probably is just the face to face interaction with guys, and you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, doing sales over the phone is fine, but being able to see it face to face is just a different story.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Well, we probably better wrap up. We've got
We've got an audience behind us.
We've got some superstars that flew in here from the farm, and they're waiting on our reservations for Matt the Miller's Tavern.
There you go.
And we better get off of here. So
awesome. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
You know, as always, what you do, and it's always good to be around you. And talk business. And
thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you made the decision to not come to this show next year and go to Louisville or Fort Wayne with us instead. That'll be fun.
I think you know, maybe Fort Wayne may be in the cards this year.
Yeah.
You know.
So
I haven't really pinned into that.
Hold on, let me see what deer season we got going on.
Isn't that
you're going to get me in
muzzleloader?
the timber yet, aren't you, out there?
Are you going to the National No-Till Conference?
Yeah. In
Shoot.
St. Louis, yeah.
St. Louis. We can call it the juries. Maybe do some deer hunting in Missouri.
Yeah.
With them.
There you go.
Isn't muzzleloader season out there?
All right. Well, we're going to get off of here. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. This will release Friday, as you know, on the email blast. So thanks for tuning in, and look forward to the next one.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Yep. Thanks guys.